Welcome to day 2. So glad you could make it. I hope you're enjoying the convention. And in case you don't know, my name is Nat, and I'm the founder of the Free Idol Project, a movement that aims to let anyone, no matter who they are or where they're from, achieve their dreams of idolhood. To learn more, join the cause, or start your own journey, please join the server link on screen or visit our YouTube channel. I learned a lot from our stream yesterday, and today is going to be even better, so I hope you're all looking forward to it. I'd like to start off day 2 a little bit differently. I'm going to be reading a letter from someone dear to me who was very impacted by the project. Her story is the perfect example of the story I hope to create when I created the project. Give me just a second, I accidentally closed a tab. Okay. Without further ado, my story of the Free Idol Project. It was the beginning of the year, and it was the end of IdolFest 2021. There I had seen something about a project that helped people that wanted to become idols. This had seemed really wonderful at the time because becoming an idol is one of my biggest dreams, and I was almost at the point of giving up on it. There were a bunch of circumstances that made it hard to believe I could ever become one. I was worried that I'd stand out too much and I wouldn't be able to fit in with any group. I also know how hard the industry is on idols in general. This dream really felt like something that would never become reality, considering I have problems with my voice and I'm a girl that's a part of LGBT. Like, how could someone like me be an idol? I'd been really hopeless about it at this point. That is, until I joined the Free Idol Project. The very moment I joined, I was met with lots of kindness. Everyone there was so welcoming. I hadn't expected it at all. I quickly became close to Nat, the creator of the project. I didn't feel like this dream was impossible anymore. I began to do things I never thought I would be able to do, like coming up with idol outfits and a character for my future debut. Couldn't believe how far I had gotten in such a short time. The people there on the server are truly some of the kindest people I have ever met. For the first time in forever, I felt really motivated and inspired. I thought I really can be an idol if I try hard enough. Nat and all the people on the server gave me some hope again. This project means the world to me. To me, being an idol means to spread hope and happiness to those around you. Being popular or well known isn't that important to me. I want to make my others smile and give inspiration with my own voice. I love that I'll fully be able to express myself with my songs. My love of idols is part of the reason I want to become one. They're just so amazing and I look up to them. I'm very excited for when I can finally debut in the future. I wouldn't have gotten this far if it wasn't for the wonderful people around me. Around the time I joined, life had been really hard, and the project was the last server I was going to try. Ever since I joined, my life has changed in so many ways. I continued working towards my dream of being an idol again and really felt like I could do it. I became close to Nat and have a sister bond with her that means the world to me. I'd finally found the light I needed. As Nat told me, we're wonderful enough to find our own light together. That's something I'll always remember no matter what. It was really wonderful seeing all the other things idols are doing. the other things the things other idols are doing. I can't wait to see the project grow even more, and I'm happy to help in any way I can. I feel so honored that this is even being read here today. Yes, I'm probably tearing up right now while listening to this. I hope one day I'll feel better about my voice and participate in a future panel for the FIP. Thank you for listening to my story. Nat's little sister, Maru-chan. That was really, really sweet. Thank you for writing that, and I'm happy I was able to read it. But yeah, I was really, really hoping when I made this that someone would be this impacted, and it makes me so happy to hear stories like this, and it means that I really am doing something good, and I'm truly grateful. But Maru isn't the only close ally I've made from the server, and I'd like to share another testimony from Rath, who was also impacted.
I know this is going to sound a little corny, but bear with me. My love for music stemmed from growing up in a musical environment. My brother and two sisters all sang growing up. My brother used to play the violin, while one sister played the cello. Following in their footsteps, I played the trumpet and sang in school as well. I enjoyed every moment of it, and actually wanted to pursue music as a career. My parents were against this idea, though, since even my brother, who went to college for music, is doing something entirely different now, and it can be difficult to make money in the industry as an artist. Although I didn't major in music in college, that didn't stop me from taking music classes. I took band, vocal training, piano, guitar, and even a songwriting class. I had so much fun in each of them, and I miss them to this day. However, when I found the Love Live series, because of the snow halation meme, my love for singing shot up. I went from humming songs to singing in the shower and while I'm on walks. I stopped when someone came near, but still, I love to pretend that I was as good as the idols and putting smiles on people's faces when I sing, even if I didn't have the skills for that yet. Recently, I got tired of being scared to sing because of a not so good voice, so I looked up ways to practice online and have been putting effort every day to improve. At one point, I decided to see if there were any Discord servers where I'd be able to sing my heart out or listen to other people's voices. More importantly, to have fun. That's when I came across this great Discord server called Free Idol Project. As soon as I clicked join, I realized I had made one of the best decisions of my life. At that very moment, I was greeted with such open arms, and listening to other people's content really encouraged me and pumped me up with motivation. It's been a long time since I felt so excited about something. If you're listening to this message and you have a desire to sing, don't hesitate to try. It doesn't matter how old you are or how bad you think you sound. Anyone can sing with the right effort, and I believe if you join the Free Idol Project, you'll love it just as much and find the same motivation that I did.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Rath. And if you're watching this, I have to say, please voice an audiobook, make a podcast or something. I really like your voice. All right. Next up, I would like to share a flute performance of Mermaid Fiesta Volume 2 by the one and only Flautist Acacia. I hope I pronounced that right. Wow. Okay. I love her music. It takes a lot of skill to be a flute player. I should know. I tried in 6th grade and failed miserably. I just love listening to instrumentals of these songs. I'm not even familiar with it, but it sounds great. What can I say? So much for Flautist Acacia for sharing that performance with us today. All right, and next we're going to move on to the most ambitious event of today. If you saw yesterday or at the showcase, props to you. This is our cover of Connecting. Everyone worked really hard, and I hope you enjoy.
Find a reason to sing 君に会いたい歌うことを教えてくれた君
誰かがこのメロディーを誰かが拾ってまた誰かが運ぶ
名前も顔もわからないつながる奇跡が誰かを幸せにする
雨越しただまで強めばかり今までは Find a reason to sing 君と歌えば時間を忘れ夢中になっちゃうんだ Find a reason to sing たった一つの
神様に与えられた国
Whoa Connecting, connecting with your song Connecting, connecting with your dream Connecting, connecting with your life Connecting with you
僕らは二度戦い何に敗れて何を失ってきただろう
名前も顔もわからない歪んだ言葉が誰かの日常を奪う永遠に通じ合うことはないと思ってた今までは Find a reason to sing 君と歌えば一人じゃないと感じないんだ Find a reason to sing いつか話そう
ちゃんと見ろって初めましてを言うよ
Connecting, connecting your song Connecting, connecting with your Connecting, connecting your life Connecting with you Oh, everything is too hard for me right now Everything's a little crazy right now どうして人は巡りの音
どうして笑って祝って血を流って
そうして次は何が起きるのか君のボディのされたの叫ぶ声がする牙をなくしたあの頃の僕よ名前も顔わからない君の優しさにどれだけ救われたろう Coming through the sheets, you're gonna see
Alrighty. There is our third showing of Connecting. Technically, I hope you all enjoy listening to it as much as I do. I think it's really nice. Yesterday, I talked a lot about the emotional aspects of the cover and what we all put into it and its intentions, and how there's something special about the sound of regular people too. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the work that went into it and the process behind it. So, like I mentioned yesterday, we did pick the song by vote. I don't remember who exactly brought up the idea that we should all do a collab song, but it was definitely a good idea. It was a really fun thing, and I just thought, oh, well, you know what? Let's get as many people as possible in this, and then it will definitely leave a lasting impression, you could say. And I think it did. So let's talk about the art for a second, because that's one of the easiest things I can think of. There was a lot of art. That's 17 characters that had to be drawn, and so naturally, I couldn't do it all by myself. So there was a team of artists put together, and some did some sketching, some did some coloring, some did some line art, and we had to go through all the references and stuff. And it was definitely a lot of work. It took some organization, but I think it was really neat how we pulled it off. And the mixing was also a whole other thing. There are 3 mixers. See, the song was organized into 3 groups. There is group 1, who did the first verse through the chorus, group 2, who did the second verse through the chorus, and group 3, who did the third verse through the ending. Well, rather, group 3 and the ending bit. So the characters and the mixing was divided into 3 groups. So that's kind of how we chose to tackle it. And it worked out pretty well for the most part. So if you notice kind of like an inconsistency in how it sounds or maybe how it looks, then that's what caused it basically. I think it adds a little more uniqueness. It's a little more diverse. But I wanted to mention these kind of process notes, and also I would like to mention that our staff applications will be opening very soon after the convention. And some positions we are looking for are including, but not limited to, server maintenance staff, the social media team, YouTube video staff like editors, sound designers, composers, etc., website development team, especially in programmers, people who can help build it, artists for graphics or characters, advertising people, advisors, translation services, or others. So we're looking for a lot of help, and if you have something to volunteer or you know anyone, it would be greatly appreciative. If you're interested, just join the server, and staff application information will be up very soon for everybody, within a couple days probably. Aside from that, it's time to jump into our Q&A section, and we're going to do it a little differently today. So instead of just taking in questions, I'm going to kind of read off some things about a few topics and go more in depth into information that hasn't been covered before. So that way, you guys have something to go off of, and if a question arises in your head, you can come forward with it. You know, that makes sense? I think that will be a helpful way to go about things. So, let's start off by talking about is our definition of idol music. So, start with the whole concept of what it is by definition and where it's from. So, in Japan, for example, where we're focusing our content, if not if the music there is like in pop music isn't generally how it works in the West, where you have like a recording artist and they'll go out and produce some albums and just kind of do their own thing, or maybe it's a band. They kind of work differently. Idol music is like almost always in groups. Like groups, I don't know about almost always, but it's a lot more common. Group music is definitely much more of a thing, and they also have a very like different kind of performance presence. For example, like okay, I'm going to go for a more like generic example. So there's definitely certain stylistic things that make it stick out. Sorry, I'm fumbling with my words a little bit here. Hope you don't mind. But so the messages, especially if you find in media or like idol anime, for example, it has this. Let me rephrase. In Western music, right? The themes are generally like party hard. The more of like a powerful, kind of aesthetic, or like just more of like a rough kind of rebellious almost nature. Idol music, as we know it, has more of a pure feeling, and it's generally based off of happiness and the image of a group, like which is just basically their aesthetic and how their songs are written, that kind of thing. That is based off much more of like a childish idea, and so that part of the music is what drew me to it personally, and that's how I got into it. And it's different from modern pop music too, definitely, which sounds fake to me. But idol music is very vibrant. It is very colorful. It is very unapologetic. And especially if you're going for a more like I don't want to say anime-ish, but anime-ish genre, because I think like actual groups do tend to differ a bit from what you see in media, and media is a lot of what the Western fandom is about. Like, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of fans, but actual music is hard to get your hands on over here because Japan, unlike Korea, is very. They don't like to share. They like to keep it within their own country for some reason. But yeah, so that's a little bit about what idol music is, and I hope that helps clear up any confusion that some of you might have had. The aesthetics are definitely also along the line of more colorful and more childish and more frilly, and it's just overall a really good time. It's very, very fun genre, and that's why I founded the FIP. So let's talk about some more about how that was founded and what exactly we do. I want to go out and say it's not a music group. It's not a music group. That seems to be a common misconception. It's more of a movement than anything else. It's like we have some featured groups, and we did, like, for example, the collab song, but that was just more of a one-time thing. It's more of an organization and a movement than an actual like solid group of people. Like, you don't have to audition to participate in the server or anything like that. So I wanted to clear that up. But so let's talk about how it was founded, like what pushed me to make it. I have been into idol music since 2015, and my introduction to that was Vocaloid. And Vocaloid is a very diverse genre, to be sure, but it does have that kind of purity and genuine sound to it. That's what I was trying to say earlier. It's very genuine and it's very unapologetic and right. So these things drew me into it. And so I had always thought to myself, wow, it would be really cool if I could perform this music. And so I had like this loose plan of becoming a YouTuber and basically just sharing content through YouTube. But I also did want to perform live, which didn't exactly come along with the job, right? So that was kind of a confusing thing. But last year, early in the year, I don't remember exactly what month it was, I stumbled upon Love Live. And Love Live is a show, it's an anime about a group of 9 girls who their school is shutting down, and so they decide to form a school idol group, which is just a club basically for students to come and join and make music and compete in the Love Live, which is a big competition. And so they were like, okay, we're gonna go win and we're going to save the school. Yeah. Anyway, it's a plot, but the music in that show was like something completely new to me. Like, I mentioned Vocaloid, but that isn't like traditional idol music. Like, it's not exactly the staple of the genre, especially because it's virtual. That's a different beast. But with this new exposure and also the music of that show just being like so uplifting and like chase your dreams and stuff, like, oh my gosh, that was definitely the push factor for me. I saw something that was like, oh my gosh, this is like the ideas that I've had in my head and everything like laid out in front of me, and they're actually doing it and they have a plan. It's like, I didn't know this was a thing. This is so crazy. And so I took that loose idea that I came up with a couple years ago, the Free Idol project, and I just decided, okay, this is going to be a thing now. I started by making a server, and I grabbed a close friend of mine who is one of the admins, the senior admin, and we basically just built the whole thing. And inviting people, getting people in it was definitely a slow process at first. It took a while. I had to individual posts. Okay. But I had to make individual posts and on different sites and stuff and get just like a couple people at a time. But eventually, one thing that really helped our growth was when Kokoro came in, who's one of the managers of IdolCon and a member of SOAR and Urishi. Wait, no, not SOAR. Wait, Urishi. There we go. And um, helped me find some connections, and since then we've been growing a lot more and planning for things like the convention and just getting more staff, making a lot of general improvements. So that's some more about that. And I mentioned the website before. The website is our go-to goal. That's the main thing we're going for. So that's the point, you could say, of all this. The goal is to create a place for fans and for producers to be able to completely express themselves. I want to have a lot of unique features that can cater fan bases, for example. Like, because fan culture is something really special, especially in the idol community. It has a unique ring to it, and there's a lot of energy there. And so I definitely want to make some features that would help with that. That would be good. Let me just. Yeah, I'm sorry if it's lagging or flashing out. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I'm just going to keep talking. So yeah, one of the examples of the things I want to do with the website is to create an account system. And basically, you can have a fan account or an idol account or a producer account. And the differences are going to be based on like profile management and what they each will have different features catered to what you want to use with the website for. So that it will be that's one example of something we can do. As for development plans, basically we want to start small and just come up with something with a few web pages, like a donation page, an about page, some stuff like that, because the whole video sharing thing is quite complicated. And so we're going to start with something small, and donations is a big part of that, or a web store potentially if that becomes a possibility soon, because with that then we can maybe actually hire some better programmers. And website maintenance just costs money. It does. That's the truth. I've also got a lot of events planned in the future for the website. That is something to look forward to. Does anybody have any questions, by the way? You're free to ask. I am looking at the chat. Bakery. What's up with that? Anyway. And for our last little mini topic here of the day, I will talk a little bit about my own backstory. So, I mentioned some of it before, and I've gone over a little bit, but not in some crazy excessive detail. So, I'll tell you a little bit more about myself and my own story with it. Growing up, I've always loved singing, and it's like to a pretty large extent. Like, if I was alone in a room, you could find me singing. It's just like a constant, like I breathe air and like I do song. It's just definitely a big part of who I am. And also expression of self through music is something that's very important to me too. And so the kind of music I like is something I want to be able to share with people. But when I noticed, like when I got to middle school, that I was having a hard time doing that, that it wasn't a common thing, the things I liked, and that I was weird now, I decided that somebody had to make a change, and who better than me? I might as well try, it'll be fun even if I fail. So that's where the whole kind of pipe dream came from. For me, idol music, what I find in it is the childish purity and the very high levels of happiness. Like when I experience very extreme happiness, that's what it sounds like to me. And there's definitely an overlap there. So that's something that is definitely resonating with me, and there's a lot of personal plans I have for music in my own channel. And I hope some of you come and see that too, because that's something that's going to be pretty cool, I think. And going forward, I plan to debut soon on my own channel and also continue doing content with the FIP. I want to be able to express myself more and get used to streaming and things like this. So this is a good first step for me and the project. And with that, I think that's all I've got for you today. So I want to thank everyone for coming to the panel both days. It's been a great experience, and I'm so thankful to IdolCon for the opportunity. Again, if you can support the convention, they're doing some amazing work. They have some awesome guests, and I'm hoping next year will be even better. Thank you so much again for watching and supporting the project, and for everyone who's helped make this possible. I'm truly grateful. So we can go ahead and end.